The Sutra of Contemplation on Amitabha Buddha, Lesson 2. Hello. Good day, friends. Hello, Master. Today's the second lesson on the Sutra of Contemplation on Amitabha Buddha. First of all, follow me, palms together.
Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha.
Okay. Throughout this lecture, when I say sutra says, it means the original text in the sutra. My understanding means my explanation of it. Okay, let us begin with reading the sutra. I'll read slowly. As I'm reading, you try to visualize along with the sutra. This way, it's like you're also self-cultivating while listening. So you'll still benefit from it. Following my reading, your visualization may not be very clear. But having a faint image is better than no image at all. Maybe Buddha will remember you. And even if one day you stop learning, Buddha will still come to you when you need help. It may not be to take you to paradise, but he will definitely help you. Alright, the first contemplation, the contemplation of the sun. Sutra says. Then Vadahi said to the Buddha, World-honored one. People like me are enabled by Buddha's power to see that land now. But after Buddha's parinirvana, how will sentient beings see Amitabha Buddha's world of ultimate bliss when they are impure, evil, unkind, and burdened by the 5 sufferings? My understanding. At that moment, Vadahi asked the Buddha, My world-honored one, even though I'm an ordinary person, through the blessing of Buddha, I can see the Western Pure Land. However, after the Buddha has passed away, how could all the sentient beings under the condition of suffering from the evil defilement have the chance to see Amitabha Buddha and the paradise? Sutra says, the Buddha said to Vadahi, You and all sentient beings should single-mindedly concentrate your thoughts on one direction, the West. How to contemplate? Anyone who contemplates, all the sentient beings who are not born blind and have eyes that have seen the setting sun. Just contemplate this. My understanding. Buddha told Vadahi, You and all sentient beings should always focus on one place. Visualize the West. How to visualize? As long as you were not born blind, you have eyes and you should have seen the sunset. Just visualize that. Sutra says, Sit facing the west and attentively look at where the sun will set. Your mind is resolute, and your concentration should not waver. See the setting sun, it appears like a drum. Once the sun is seen, then, whether the eyes are shut or open, it is clear and distinct. This is the contemplation of the sun and is called the first contemplation. My understanding. Facing the west, sit and look properly. If we're in good health, we can sit cross-legged on a cushion. on the floor or on a blanket. It's okay to sit naturally cross-legged, in half lotus or full lotus posture. But for the elderly whose legs are not flexible enough to sit cross-legged, they can sit on a chair with backrest and armrest. The more stable and sturdy the chair, the better it will prevent you from falling. Face the west, that is how you can see the sun setting. Visualize carefully the view before the sun sets. Focus your mind. Stay concentrated. Seeing the sun about to set. You feel it's like a big drum hanging in the sky. Okay. After the visualization, whether with the eyes open or closed, you can keep the visualization in your mind clearly. This is called the contemplation of the sun, or the first contemplation. It's the first contemplation of this sutra, the sun contemplation. Next is the second contemplation, contemplation of water. Sutra says, next form the contemplation of water. See the water as clean and pure, which leads to clear perception and the mind will not be distracted. Once this water is seen, contemplate that it is ice. Having contemplated the ice as brilliant and transparent, see it as clear crystal. When this contemplation is completed, see that the clear crystal ground is bright and clear, both inside and out. The clear crystal ground is supported and secured from below by a golden bannered pillar adorned with the 7 precious jewels. Each golden bannered pillar has 8 corners and 8 sides. Each side is adorned with hundreds of jewels. Each jewel shines with thousands of light rays. And each ray of light has 84,000 colors. As the light are reflected on the clear crystal ground, they look like thousands of millions of suns, so dazzling that it is impossible to see them all in detail. On the surface of this clear crystal ground, golden paths intricately mesh and crisscross like a net of cords. And the 7 kinds of precious jewels form borders that demarcate the intersected parts of the ground. Each jewel emits light in 500 colors. The light appears in the shapes of flowers, stars, or moons. Suspended in the sky, they form a tower of light. My understanding. Next, we visualize water. And we call it the contemplation of water, as if we can see the very pure and genuine water. Water is the most common substance we see, after we've truly seen that it's real. The water is turning into ice. Then, it's as if we see real ice. We can even see the sun shining through it. It's very real and natural. Then, the ice turns into luli, lapis lazuli. Luli is glass, actually. Even if there is only a little light, it can shine through it. Underneath the glass, there are huge pillars made of gold. These huge pillars are as big as the sky, supporting the glass ground. Each pillar has 8 faces and corners. Each face of the pillar is inlaid with gems in all kinds of colors. Each precious gem emits extremely beautiful, colorful beams of light. Each beam of light radiates beautiful brilliance. The beautiful brilliance is reflected on the vast transparent glass ground. The brilliance is reflecting so brightly, as if there are countless suns. It's so splendid. But it can't be seen clearly. On the surface of the glass ground, there are crisscrossing golden ropes dividing different roads and areas. The glass world is also divided neatly and clearly with the 7 jewels. That means not only the golden ropes but also the 7 colors of gems are used to divide the lapis lazuli ground into different areas. Each gem emits vivid colorful brilliance. Every bit of brilliance radiates beautiful flowers. Or sometimes stars and moons. They are hanging in the wide blue sky. It's like a tremendous illuminated pedestal. Sutra says, there are thousands and millions of pavilions made of hundreds of jewels. Both sides of the tower are adorned with billions of flower banners and countless musical instruments in solemnness. Pure breezes of the 8 pleasing qualities are produced by these rays of light. The breezes cause the musical instruments to play in voices, which proclaim the truths of suffering, emptiness, impermanence and non-self. This is the contemplation of water and is called the second contemplation. My understanding. There are 10 million pavilions made of various kinds of treasures. On both sides of the tremendous pedestal are countless gorgeous floral banners. The flower banners are pillars made of silky fabrics. In ancient India, the beautiful silky fabrics with different beautiful patterns were built into pillars, creating silk fabric inlaid pillars. These flower banners symbolized nobility, solemnness and majestic presence. So in this sutra, the description of the floral banners in the world of the heavenly kingdom is representing the adornments of supreme dignity, solemnness, and most of all, auspiciousness. These floral banners are floating in the air, symbolizing wonderful auspiciousness. Also, there are countless various musical instruments floating in the sky. 8 breezes from the radiance automatically play the musical instruments. The sounds of the music played consist of suffering, emptiness, impermanence, and no self. Above is the contemplation of water or the second contemplation. Next, the third contemplation, contemplation of ground. Sutra says, when the contemplation of the water has been achieved. I'm interrupting to remind everyone that each new contemplation also starts with mentioning, once you've achieved the previous contemplation, or something similar along those words. Once you've achieved the previous contemplation, then you have to visualize every bit in detail, and it becomes real. That's the meaning. Alright. Each image should be clearly seen whether the eyes are shut or open. and should be constantly kept in your mind except when eating. Accordingly, these contemplations are called the general perception of the ground of the world of ultimate bliss. If you attain the state of samadhi, you will see the ground of that land so clearly and distinctly, and it cannot be adequately described. Thus, it is the contemplation of the ground, and is called the third contemplation, my understanding. After you've achieved the contemplation of water, it's better to practice repeatedly and thoroughly, until you can feel that this image is truly realistic. And also, whether your eyes are open or closed, the image is so real. Except when you're eating, you're always visualizing it. Actually, Buddha is especially reminding us that except when eating, we're staying in the visualization of the view. That's the visualization akin to seeing paradise. After you've mastered this visualization, the images you see are so clear, vivid, and real. There's a phrase in the sutra: if one attains samadhi, it's very difficult to describe the state of samadhi. Here, it can be explained as a state that is firm and solid and can't be moved. That means, I'm deeply concentrating and immersed in the visualization of such beautiful images. Right. That's it. Since I'm so deeply into it, the vision becomes realistic. The more realistic it is, the more focused we are. Such status is samadhi, an extremely focused state. The above is the contemplation of the ground or the third contemplation. Next, Sutra says, the Buddha said to Ananda, "You are the keeper of the Buddha's discourses, for all the future sentient beings. For the benefit of the beings who wish to be liberated from suffering, I proclaim the Dharma of contemplating the ground. If they can contemplate the ground, they will transcend 8 billion eons of punishments of birth and death. When they leave this life, they will definitely be born into the Pure Land, with a heart that is free of doubt. To practice this method is called the right contemplation, and to practice otherwise is called the wrong contemplation. My understanding," Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda. "As you've grasped my idea, you can teach all sentient beings who want to leave suffering about this visualization in the future. If they can master the practice accordingly, it can eliminate their sins of 80 koti kalpas. That is 8 billion kalpas, which we can't even calculate with the human years on Earth. It's a huge time and space. Humans will repeatedly and endlessly reincarnate. They have committed countless sins in their previous lives. Their sins of 80 koti kalpas can be eliminated by this visualization. Every person experiences the end of life. Whether you want to or not, you'll face death sooner or later. For those who practice this method, when they leave this life, they'll definitely be reborn in the Pure Land. That's paradise, and it means gaining great comfort and peace. It's such a great benefit that you gain from a little visualization. Friends online ask if they carry a picture of their family to practice. Will their family get the benefit too? What do you think? If you visualize as outlined, that's the right visualization. Otherwise, it's the wrong visualization. These are Buddha's words. The fourth contemplation, the contemplation of the trees, Sutra says. The Buddha said to Ananda and Vaidehi, when the contemplation of the ground can be achieved, next contemplate the jeweled trees. To contemplate the jeweled trees, one should see them one by one and form an image of 7 rows of trees. Each tree is 8,000 yojanas high. Each tree is adorned with blossoms and leaves made of all 7 kinds of jewels. My understanding, Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi. Now, let's do the visualization of the jeweled trees. First, visualize that there are 7 rows of them. Each tree is 8,000 yojanas tall. In modern kilometers, it's about 140,000 kilometers. So, the height of each tree is 140,000 kilometers. All the leaves are like gemstones. Rare gems to be exact. Next, Sutra says, each blossom and leaf are the color of a different jewel. From the clear crystal colored is emitted a golden light. From the rock crystal colored is emitted a crimson light. From the agate colored is emitted an iridescent light. From the iridescent colored is emitted a pearl green light. In addition, coral, amber, and all the other myriad jewels serve as dazzling ornaments. Exquisite nets of pearls completely cover the trees. Each tree is veiled by 7 layers of nets. Between each of the nets there are 50 billion exquisite flower palaces that resemble the palace of the Brahma king. My understanding. Each exquisite leaf. Why isn't it called a floral leaf? Here, floral isn't just an ordinary flower. It's the essence of paradise, as the Buddha said. Not just ordinary blossoms, nobility is symbolized. Each exquisite leaf emits different brilliance. Since it's not an ordinary leaf, it's not woody, it's a precious gem. Here's something unbelievable. And you must visualize this way. That is, for example, blue objects emit red or white light. Why? Buddha knows. Don't ask me. I can only tell you about it. Lapis lazuli color radiates golden light. Colored glass radiates red light. Agate color. Agate carries a bit of brown, right? Agate colors emit the light of the tridacna, which is normally white. However, tridacna color emits the light of green pearl. Somewhat like the color of a peacock's tail, the peacock blue color, which is between green and blue. Right, the white tridacna radiates the hue of green pearl, and there are various precious gems mixing together to adorn the trees, making them more splendid and dazzling. Also, there are fine intricate nets woven with precious pearls. Unlike a piece of cloth, they are webs with big holes. There are 7 layers of these pearl-woven nets covering each tree. You can imagine such a tall tree, 140,000 kilometers high. It's a giant tree full of colorful gems and pearl-woven nets. Wow! What a treasure, and how precious is such a tree nowadays. It's 140,000 kilometers high. Each tree is covered by 7 layers of pearl webs. Between each layer of web, there are 50 billion beautiful palaces resembling the palace of Lord Brahma. Do you know who Brahma is? A heavenly king. He's the original king who rules this world. He's the original king who rules this world. Just like the Jade Emperor in China, and he's called Brahma over there. That's how vast each tree is. Sutra says, celestial children naturally reside in each palace. Each of these children wears ornaments made of 50 billion Sakrabi Lagna Mani. The light from these Mani jewels illuminates 100 yojanas in all directions, like a constellation of billions of suns and moons which cannot be fully described. The intermingling of the light from these various jewels produces an unexcelled color. The rows of these jewel tree paths are evenly arranged, and their foliage is equally spaced. From among the leaves appear exquisite blossoms. Upon these flowers, fruits made of the 7 kinds of jewels naturally appear. Each leaf is 25 yojanas in diameter. Each leaf, similar to celestial ornaments, has thousands of colors and hundreds of different patterns. There are exquisite flowers in the color of jambu gold. Like revolving wheels of fire, they gently roll among the leaves. Various fruits appear from these flowers as if from Sakra's vase. My understanding. There are many children of Brahma. Brahma is the king of the cosmic world, right? There are many children of Brahma living in these palaces among the trees. Many of them. Each of the children is wearing lots of glowing Mani jewels. These Mani jewels are magnificent. They are the big glowing beads that were worn on the neck of King Sakra. The brilliance they radiate can light up the 33 heavens. Unlike the ordinary glowing beads, the brilliance of these precious beads has powerful energy that can brighten up to 1,750 kilometers. Each of the children is wearing many of these Mani beads, as if numerous suns and moons are shining together. With the brilliance of the various precious gems and treasures on the trees. Also, combined with the intricate pearl nets. Each adds radiance to the other. And so the world is resplendent with jewels. It's the beautiful radiance of the gems and the precious Mani jewels that makes such a brilliant and glorious world. The magical precious trees are drawn up in orderly rank. Layers upon layers of leaves are emitting beautiful radiance. Among the layers of leaves are blossoming the wonderful flowers. From each of these wonderful and beautiful flowers, precious fruit appears, vibrant with various colors. Each leaf is 25 yojanas long. That's about 430 kilometers. It's the length of every leaf. They are that long. Each leaf has its gorgeous colors, like the beautiful natural adornments and jewelry. It's not a simple common leaf but a precious treasure. The golden flowers are like twirling fire wheels, revolving among the amazing leaves. They even sprout strange fruits. The shape of these fruits is like the precious vase of King Sakra. King Sakra is the king of the highest heaven. This precious vase of King Sakra has a special function. When you want something, you just think of it in front of this vase, and it will come to you. For example, you want a luxury car, and the car will appear to you. Say, you want a big house. It's there. You want a good husband. You'll get one. You want money. You get it. You want a son. You'll have one. Just like that. You want great wealth. Easy. Such a precious vase of King Sakra. Why is it precious? It's like what we call a treasure bag that has all the goodies in it. Just because King Sakra is the king of the biggest kingdom in heaven. Sutra says, great illumination forms banners and flags, as well as infinite jeweled canopies. In these jeweled canopies, all the deeds of the Buddhas of the 3,000 great thousand worlds appear. The Buddhalands of the 10 directions also appear within. When you have seen the trees in this way, contemplate each detail in order. Contemplate and see the trunks, the branches, the leaves, the flowers, and the fruits. Each is clear and distinct. This is the contemplation of the trees, and is called the fourth contemplation. My understanding. There is great illumination transforming into numerous banners. As I mentioned earlier, the banners are scripture banners, made of satin and beautiful soft materials, built into pillars. They can swing in the wind. They are so sumptuous that only the royal palaces of the past used them for nobility and majesty. Here in paradise, they also represent the majestic presence of Buddha and auspiciousness. The banners that transformed into jeweled canopies are not simply banners anymore. Usually, these canopies can be seen in pictures above Buddha's head in the sky. There's a thing like a beautiful umbrella. And that's the jeweled canopy. Right. In the human world, when the king went outside the palace, there was a big umbrella above him to protect him from the rain or sunshine. That was its purpose. Same here, such a thing appears inside the canopy, like a movie. Are displayed all compassionate deeds in the 3,000 great thousand-fold worlds, and the Buddha lands of the 10 directions. That is, all the Buddha lands above, below, east, west, north and south, and the universe. All these images are appearing under this canopy. Having visualized this picture, then you have to visualize again in great detail, until you are familiar with it and seen every detail clearly and realistically. The more realistic, the better the effect. Also, I must remind you to visualize clearly the tree trunks, branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. They must be clear, pure and real. This is the contemplation of the trees, also the fourth contemplation. Let's continue. The fifth contemplation, contemplation of 8 merit virtue water. Sutra says, next contemplate the bodies of water. This is how to do so. The land of ultimate bliss has 8 bodies of water. The water of each lake is made of the 7 treasures. These soft and gentle treasures emerge from a wish-fulfilling jewel, the king of jewels. The water of each lake flows into 14 streams, each in the wondrous color of the 7 treasures. The banks of each channel are made of gold, and the bed is strewn with the sand of variegated diamonds. In each body of water, there are 60 billion lotus flowers made of the 7 treasures. Each lotus flower is perfectly round and is 12 yojanas in diameter. Mani water flows among the flowers and courses back and forth amidst the trees. My understanding. Next, visualize water. In the Western land of ultimate bliss, there are 8 ponds of water called the waters of 8 virtues. The waters are formed by the 7 treasures. I have to explain the common water. The water on earth is liquid, right? What we drink is water. We can't live without water. We're very familiar with it, right? However, the water in the Western paradise is formed with the 7 treasures. What are the 7 treasures? As mentioned before, they're pearl, agate, tridacna, lapis lazuli, coral, etc. Maybe we'd wonder if these precious gems can become liquid. Please don't forget what kind of world this is. It's the Western paradise. So over there, especially the water in the 7 treasure pond is like that. Yes, the water is combined with the 7 treasures and very soft to the touch. Also, people can swim over there. It's buoyant as normal water, soft, and won't drown people. It's precious. The water is produced from the wish-fulfilling pearl of the 7 treasures. The wish-fulfilling pearl is a huge precious gem in that world. From this wish-fulfilling pearl, the wonderful 7 treasure water was produced. These 7 treasure waters are divided into 14 tributaries. Each tributary naturally presents the beautiful colors of the 7 treasures. Thus, such water is unlike the colorless water on earth, right? It's the colors of the 7 treasures. Beautiful. It also says that the channels of the flowing waters are made of gold. The bottom of the channels is covered with the sand of various diamonds, forming the beds of the channels. You can imagine how precious it is. Each pond of water has more than 6 billion lotus flowers of the 7 treasures. Yes. There are billions of 7 treasure lotus flowers in each pond of water. And, the diameter, the length, of each lotus is 12 yojanas long. That's about 210 kilometers in our system of measurement. Each lotus flower is that big. Also, as the Mani treasure water flows among the flowers, it naturally swirls among the countless jeweled trees. That is, these waters not only flow among the flowers, but also flow among the jeweled trees. It's almost unimaginable. The waters and trees could naturally combine, so that the waters can rise as tall as the trees and flow down as nectar. Wow! It's like a super-jeweled hot spring. The spring water gradually flows and sprinkles outward from the trees. It's amazing. Normally, we don't understand. We learn slowly. Sutra says, the delicate and exquisite sounds of the flowing water proclaim the teachings of suffering, emptiness, impermanence, non-self and the paramithas. They also praise the physical features and characteristics of the Buddhas. From the wish-fulfilling king jewel, delicate and exquisite golden rays of light. Issue forth and transform into singing birds as colorful as hundreds of jewels. Their harmonious and elegant songs continually praise the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. This is the contemplation of the waters of 8 virtues, and it is called the 5th contemplation. My understanding. These flowing waters make subtle and magical sounds, proclaiming the truths of suffering, emptiness, impermanence, non-self state, and the praises of all Buddha's sublime and solemn appearances. From the wish-fulfilling pearl, delicate and exquisite golden rays of light issue forth. The wonderful waters flow out from the wish-fulfilling pearl. That's the waters of 8 virtues. Now, they're pouring out such golden brilliance. Not just light but illumination. Such illumination transforms into birds in the various beautiful jewel colors. Their chirps are very noble, elegant, soft, and harmonious. Automatically carrying the thought of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The 3 jewels of Buddhism. Right. To Buddhist disciples, the 3 treasures are faith, vow, and action. This is the contemplation of the waters of 8 virtues, also the 5th contemplation. The 6th contemplation is called the general contemplation. Sutra says, in every region of that land of myriad treasures, there are 50 billion jeweled palaces. In those palaces there are countless heavenly beings playing heavenly music. Musical instruments are suspended in the sky like the heavenly jeweled banners. The instruments spontaneously produce myriad sounds without being played. These sounds praise the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. When this contemplation has been completed, it is called the general perception of the world of ultimate bliss. The jeweled trees, the jeweled ground, and the jeweled lakes. This is a general contemplation, which is called the 6th contemplation. My understanding. In the multi-treasure jeweled lands, each district has 50 billion jeweled towers. It's hard to count 50 billion. Anyway, it means a lot of them. Inside the towers, there are countless celestial beings performing wonderful music. Also, there are different kinds of musical instruments, hanging in the sky, or actually floating in the sky. Like the jeweled banners and the jeweled canopy above the Buddha's head, hovering in the sky. The musical instruments play melodies by themselves, no beings play them. These melodies are continually praising the reverence for the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. After having mastered this visualization, the rough vision of paradise, one sees the jeweled trees, the jeweled lands, and the jeweled ponds. These ponds are filled with the waters of 8 virtues. They are also called the 7 treasure ponds. This is called the general contemplation, also the 6th contemplation. It's the macroscopic visualization of paradise. Sutra says, for those who see this, the heavy and evil karma binding them to birth and death for measureless tens of billions of eons is eliminated. At the end of this life, they will definitely be born in that land. To practice this method is called the right contemplation. And to practice otherwise is called the wrong contemplation. My understanding. For those who have cultivated and achieved such visualization, their extremely heavy evil karma committed in countless lives can be eliminated. What is meant by innumerable kodis of kalpas? 1 kalpa is about how many years on earth. It's immeasurable and means the forever lives of a person. All the serious and heavy sins will be eliminated. Every human's life and body will end. One day, a person has to leave this world. When their life ends, they will absolutely be reborn in the Western paradise. If they have done the previous visualization, if they have followed the way that I teach them to visualize, it's the right visualization. If they visualize in other ways, those are wrong visualizations. So, this part is particularly important because after we've done it, all our heavy sins in countless lives will be eliminated. And when we die in this life, rapidly and inevitably, we will be reborn in the Western paradise. We used to know that self-cultivation was difficult. Now if you're vaguely listening to me, and vaguely in your mind, conjuring the vision and images mentioned in the scriptures, I think you've almost achieved this state. So, I hope that today, as we learn the Sutra of Contemplation on Amitabha Buddha, we have merit and virtue, and I feel auspicious when I teach. The deities, Dharma protectors and bodhisattvas are here. I wish to dedicate all wonderful merits and virtues to those who have passed away in recent years and decades. If one person learns from me, your deceased family members would leave the suffering of the six-realm rebirth and receive the guidance of Amitabha Buddha's illumination. Also, for those who have been taken away by various epidemics, all the natural and human disasters and wars in recent years, and those wandering spirits who had no family and no burial, we hope that Amitabha Buddha with his two great bodhisattvas and all deities will guide them to be reborn in the Western Pure Land and be free from suffering in the human world. I also hope that you all are bestowed with Buddha light. Now, for all dear online friends, I hope you will gain health and longevity in every aspect of your lives, including your career, relationships, family, health, study, and even all personal businesses. I hope you will be auspicious and smooth sailing. A compassionate heart will lead you to walk on the right path. Nowadays, there are many demonic and evil behaviors tempting you to do bad things. Some people lead others to walk on evil paths for financial benefits. That is bad. I hope those who hear me now will return to the right track at once. Wash your hands in the golden basin, stop the evil acts and deeds. All you do is auspicious, happy, and positive. I wish you health and longevity. Received, auspiciousness. Received, full of joy. Received. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, Master.